So, good morning, everyone. Good morning, professors that are here that are joining us, and good morning to all of our students. Thank you so much for joining this workshop. Um, Today, we're going to be presenting grammar essentials of simple adjectives and suggestions for an effective PowerPoint presentation. I am presenting Dr. Virginia Santiago, and she is going to be our presenter today. If you have any questions or would like to add anything um, to our presentation today, you can raise your hand or you can write on the chat. Okay, so welcome, Dr. Santiago.
Thank you, Dr. Torres. Good morning, everyone. Today, as Dr. Torres said, we're going to have a very simple PowerPoint. And as you see, it's about essentials of simple adjectives. And then later, a PowerPoint suggestions. So here we go. Welcome to this workshop. We're going to do part one. Part one has to do with simple. This is going to be very simple. And you're going to see that we're not going to use any grammar rules. I'm just going to show you because many times when we're speaking in English, but we're thinking in Spanish, and that is normal. And as you see in the adjectives, all right, completely different in the placement of in the sentence. Let me just do something here. Just one moment, please. Let me put my phone on mute and I can't see where it is. I'll do it later. Anyway, so as you see, number one, you have to remember in English, which is different from Spanish. In English, the adjectives are always all your life, all your children's life, all your grandchildren's life, all your life. They're always going to be singular. And as you see here, we have red plant. Notice, please, that the adjective is before the noun. Red as the color and plant. But when you have plural, look at red, students, look at red. Red does not change. The plural of plant is plants. But notice, please, that red stays singular. Another example, White House, the same thing. White before the noun, before house, different from Spanish, because in Spanish, we say, what do we say? Casa Blanca. But in English, it is different. And we have to remember that we are writing or speaking in English. So white comes before house. And if we have plural houses, white is always singular. White does not change. The adjective does not change. Another example, one apple. In numbers, because adjectives can be colors, numbers, size, and emotions. In this case, it is number, one apple. In plural, 5 apples. We don't say fives. No, 5 apples. We have size, adjectives that deal with size. Small dog, singular. Small, singular, dogs. As you notice again, adjectives of color, of number, and of size are always singular. And the last example for this part of part one is emotion. Happy child. The child is singular, and the plural of child is children. As you notice, happy, happy. Happy does not change, only the noun. Now, an example in a sentence. The blue pens are on the table. Notice pens is plural, but blue stays singular, no S. Look at the number, 3 chickens. Chickens is plural, but 3 stays the same. Are there any questions on this slide? Questions? Okay, we continue. Now, notice On the other slide, we talked about placement. Remember, it's always before the noun. For the moment, it is before the noun. Large tree, pink flower, sad boy. These are singular. These are singular. In Spanish, it is different. So we have to remember that in this case, we are either speaking or writing. It is before the noun. Then, in a sentence, the large tree is in the patio. The pink flower is in the garden. The sad boy is in the room. Notice they're all singular. Everything in this slide is singular, and it is before the noun. All right, look, large tree, pink flower, sad boy. Questions? No questions.
Excuse me, I cannot see the PowerPoint, the
Oh,
presentation.
one moment, please. Someone cannot see the presentation. Oh. Okay, my director says something might be happening on your end. Maybe go out and come back again, because that time it resets. Because right here, are there anyone else who cannot see the presentation? Everyone's good? There's many of you. Okay. We'll give you a couple minutes to catch up. I think that was Jose. Did you hear that voice? Yeah. I think it was Jose. Okay. Anyone else? Let us know. Let us know. I want everyone to be able to see me and the presentation and hear my voice. Okay. See, aquí estamos. Okay, now we have something that is different, because now we have some particular verbs, as you see here: am, is, are, was, and were. These are professionally, grammatically linking verbs. So we're not going to get into that, because we're going to look at adjective replacement, one thing at a time. But just to remember that after verbs, these particular verbs, you will have an adjective. All right, you're going to describe. You're going to describe, in this case, the subject of the sentence. For example, I am, look at am happy. Yay. The boy is sad. The flowers are pink. And pink is singular. Flowers is plural, and pink is singular. The tree was large. Was large. And the cookies were fresh. Singular. Are there any questions? Notice that before we had them before the noun, and now with these particular verbs, you have them after the little, you see, after the verb. Okay, any questions? I wish, no questions. Okay, now, corazones, we're going to go to part 2. Now, this might be new for some people. And I know in some of your classes now, as in the future, you will have to be giving an oral presentation. And it is called an oral presentation. That means you're going to talk. You're going to talk. You're going to try to not to read, because then it would be a reading presentation. This is oral presentation. And we have to think that before the PowerPoint was invented, we had index cards. We had little index cards, and we would help ourselves like notes from the index cards. We have to look at the PowerPoint presentation as your index card, but there is a format because you want it to be simple. All right, simple. So let's begin. Okay, I want you to see this. You see, a presentation is to present, not to read, to talk. All the attention has to be on you, not on not on the presentation. You don't want your audience to read. You want your audience to look at you because you are the source of the information. You have control of the information, not the PowerPoint. Now, they come to see you. All right. As I said, the PowerPoint slide, this is the slide, used to be in my time when I was studying the index card. But now it's a PowerPoint presentation. And if you remember, or maybe you saw someone present with index cards, did they show you the index card? Did they say, look, it's here? No, because the index cards were never presented to the audience because those were your notes. But now we have our PowerPoint presentation with the slides, with the information. Now, please notice on this slide, as you see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, 4 bullets. That's it. Notice, please, that it is one sentence. One sentence, because I'm going to read it and then I'm going to explain. The presentation is to present, not to read. And then as you see, I told you, no, you are the information. It's you. That is an index card. They can see you because they can follow you. Questions? No questions. Great. Now, I have seen this. When you have information that you want to quote, then and only then, only then, use paragraph information when you're quoting. You write the paragraph and you have to say, y cito, or I quote. You read the information, and then at the end of quote, then you have to explain. Because what the paragraph information is obviously a tool for you to continue with your presentation. It is not the presentation. It is there to give you reliability on what you're saying. I have to move my slides. One moment, please. Director, I have to move my slides and I can't move my slides. Oh, here it is. Yes, ma'am. Don't tell anybody. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh. One moment, please. Okay. Now, where's here? Okay, here it is. Now, the use of the paragraph information. Now, as you see, never, 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 never use present information in a paragraph format. All right, that's only when you have to quote. Remember, here you are quoting. You are quoting. That is exactly what your information says. And you finish. It's over. Then you have here. One moment, please. Okay, I'm sorry. Things happen. Then you have here, as I said, never use a present information in a paragraph format. Why? Because if you do, what is happening? The paragraph information is going to make your audience read it. And you don't want to read it. You want to present it. All right? Because if the presenter reads, you're not presenting. You're reading. And that's not what we want to do. We want to give it oral presentation. Remember, you read it, look at the way I am doing it. Use me as an example. I read the bullet and then I explained. So the audience is looking at me. In fact, I can turn to the PowerPoint presentation and with a pointer, I can point, I can read what I say, but then I turn back and I present. I don't stay looking at the PowerPoint slides. No, because you are my audience, not the PowerPoint slide. I don't know if it's happened to you, but I have seen presenters that all they do is read. They look at the PowerPoint. No, look at your audience. Make the eye contact. Remember, read it and then explain. The use of the bullets. Now, as you saw in the ones that we have here, you'll see they're one sentences. You see? Now, I can have with one word, and then I describe what I want to say with that word. I can have a phrase, one phrase, one bullet, one phrase. Now, remember this, sentence of one line, one line. Don't go for two sentences, because then the PowerPoint presentation becomes too full. It becomes, what they say, too busy, too much information. Try to make it simple. Simple. You will never lose your audience if you make it simple. If you go talking and they don't see, they can get confused. And that's what you don't want to do. Now, no more, listen carefully, no more than 5 bullets per slide. Because if not, if you see, if you put more, it's going to go into another format. It will go to a smaller to fit everything on the slide. There's no limit of slides. You can have many slides. There's no problem. So don't try to put everything on one slide and put it in there. Forget that. Try to make it simple. Okay. Now, when you have words, have bullets reflect only words. For example, the presenter. And you talk about the presenter. The audience, and I refer to all of you. The sentences, all right? And then I explain the sentences can only be of one line. And the paragraphs. You paragraphs when you quote, and only when you quote. All right? One moment, please. Now, oops. Phrases. One moment. Oh, one moment. One moment. Phrases. Now, as you see, the phrases are not complete sentences. And when you use the phrase, you leave room for the explanation. You leave room because, remember, you always want to present the information, not the PowerPoint presenting the information, because you are the show. You, not the presentation, you. And as I said, do not fill the complete slide with information. It gets too busy. And I'm stressing this again, a little bit repetitive to make the point. Questions? Now, here is something. When you have a PowerPoint presentation format and you have divided, it has 2 boxes. You have a box over here and you have a box over here. All right? If you have in the first box, if you have 4 words here, you have to have the same number in the other box. If 4 words, 4 words. 4 phrases, 4 phrases. Same space, same space. What is you don't want to have? 4 words here, phrases here. 1 phrase here, 1 word here. No, because you're doing balance. What you have here is exactly what you have here. And you could actually make it into this format. But just remember, this format, when you have the 2 boxes, it has to have balance. It has to have the same. And if you have this, do not use sentences, because your sentences will make too much space unless you make the boxes bigger, but still use phrases. I recommend you use phrases. As long as you have the same number of phrases here, the same number of phrases there. Questions? Okay. Then, hierarchia. I use the word hierarchia because I believed it was the best word, but it really means importance, order of importance. In other words, your location of the bullets. You can go from long to short or from short to long. Only if the information does not require the hierarchia. Only if it doesn't matter an order of importance. And I'm going to give you an example. All right, I'm going to go to this slide. You see this slide here? Notice this is from short to long. All right, look at the format. Short, and a little bit longer. All right, look at this one. You see? Short, short, a little bit longer. This is what you want. You don't want long and then short and long and then short. No, no. Make it nice to be able to read. All right. Okay, you see? This is, now remember, in this case, I don't have order of importance. It's just the information. And here, look at here. You see? From long to short. From long to short. And then we have here, as you see. One moment, please. Now, here is when we're using a picture or a graph or a table or design. Split the information. Get the two boxes format where you have, now listen carefully, you have here and this side, or if you want on this side, but you have here the picture and only the picture, or only the graph, or only the table, or only the design. And then here you have of the picture, you have the information of bullets here. All right? Don't put a picture and information. No, a picture here, information here. Now, this is going to be repeated in every slide that you have information of this format. Now, what is it? If you're continuing with the same information on another slide, copy the title, and after the title, you put continue, but you put it with parentheses and a smaller font. And you continue. Remember, copy the title, and right here, you put continue. Then, when you present, use good posture. Because remember, you're in the front of the class. You never sit. You're not sitting when you're presenting. You never, 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 never sit. You are the focus of the presentation. And if you're going to use a laser pointer, be very careful with a laser pointer, because if you're nervous, your pointer is going to be shaking, and that you don't want. And I always say, if you're using a pointer, anchor your elbow to your waist. Take your elbow and point it. I don't know if I can stand here. One moment, please. Yes, I can. You're going to go right here and anchor it right here, because this way your hand is stuck on next to your body and your pointer will not start shaking. You don't want the people to think you're nervous. They want to see self-confidence. And walk around, make the eye contact, look at your audience, because then you can tell by their body language if they understand, and your presentation will be a success. All right? Questions? Any questions? No. Okay. Well, students, thank you for coming. Thank you for seeing my presentation. If you need any questions, you may contact me, or you can contact the center, and we will be more than happy send you this presentation. All right. Thank you very much, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Goodbye.